And good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Monday, December 27th, 2021. The rally did continue today. In fact, it kicked in yesterday as Globex reopened, and it just powered up today. So let's take a look, because I've updated the Elliott count and the labeling. And what I've done is that, as you can see, I've gone back to what was the preferred count, shifted off to the alternate count, but was kept very close at hand during the decline that we saw right there as it came down in 5. Very clean, very nicely. Made a new low below there. So I had kept that count alive, and then when we got the blast to the moon, that just kind of sealed the deal for me, and I moved it back to the preferred status. So again, what the preferred count has resumed is that this was the completion point. The 16,767 was the completion for minor wave 3 out of 5. So we got minor wave 3. Then the low at 15,895, which I believe is actually 892, that was the completion point for minor wave 4. Very nice, clean A, B, C. We got a little bit of a twist and turn as it went through the A and the B and the C to form the B wave. But nonetheless, it worked out with the C wave completing. And now we have the complete, clean 4th wave. And the blast has taken us really nearly back up above 16,600, which I do expect to be broken. But it was clean, it was powerful, it was a very clean first 3 waves, let's say. So let me take it back down to the hourly count. With that being the case, what again, now we are back to counting and looking for a 5-wave advance to form minor wave 5. So it's going to consist of 5 waves of minute degree. And then I believe we finished minute 1, minute 2, and minute 3 at today's high. So minute 3 began off that low at 15,605, and it ran to 16,572, up in that area. And as Globex opens, it's pulling back ever so slightly. So, but let's kind of go over what we're doing. This is a beautiful 3rd wave. It extended, it all counts out, and there's several layers, and it's very nicely extended. And then so I'm putting the minute 3 here. But so what does that still open up for us? Again, that high previous, the top of 3, now minor wave 5 would be expected to take out that high before it's done. That high is at 16,767. Minor wave 5, with the expectation of it taking out that high, would meet its minimum expectation under a Fibonacci relationship cycle. So in other words, I'm looking at extensions for minor wave 5 as it relates to minor wave 3. So this wave would be equal on Fibonacci basis of 62% of that 3rd wave that we did back to the previous high at 16,767. Now, that high comes in at 16,845. That fits. So that would be number 1. That's a very common relationship between the 2, the 5th and the 3rd wave. So technically, it also meets that level as the most common, which is 16,845. So it takes out the high, meets the first level. Can it go further? Absolutely. But if we're done with 3, we got a 4. And that 4, I think, would be expected to come back down. Actually, shouldn't go that low. Let me put those in real quick. And let's just take a look to see what we could have in place. Well, the 3rd and not the third, the fourth wave correction on 382, which is the most common, will come back to 16,205. That's a 300-point drop. I actually, in this particular rally, with the amount of time that I think that we've got remaining, I would not expect it to come that deep. But I do think a drop back to 16,444, which is the 20 moving average, is definitely in the books, definitely in the picture here. And so if I had to go, this is the one that makes more sense because it likely is the fourth wave of one lesser degree, right in there. Not that big. And I'm going to get this coming. Don't do it. Don't do it. There we can get it. This is what I've been talking about. See how small that is? These corrections, the wave two was decent, but beyond that, they're pretty small. We're not getting much. So that's what I'm thinking. And that lies right at where the 50 is, which is 16,293. So looking back, it could drop 200 plus points and still keep the rally totally intact. And it would be a decent move to trade as well. But again, number one, I'm not expecting something that deep. We've not got any examples that it will do that. So I'm not really going to be looking for it right now, but it is possible. And that's at 205, 16,205, with the 50 at 16,293. And I'd be looking for these upper levels. Actually, 16,504 works. Or 60,444 works very cleanly. We'll look for ABC down. So a little ABC. That's one very small. So, and then we resume and we start heading up higher again. And then we have right there, 16,845. So ultimately, yes, I do believe, and it may even happen, this third wave may have a little bit more to go. So it may still get itself above 16,600 before it pulls back in a four. They got pretty high today, so it's very capable of just doing that, then pulling back in a four, and then going back up in a fifth. So 16,845 is definitely within the picture. And so is actually above that, where if we had to go about to where wave 5 would be equal in length to wave 3, that's going to come in at 17,683, pretty high. But these all remain in the picture. Again, it's quite evident that the push is to the upside, and portfolio management, whatever's going on, it's kind of what's in the deal. And on top of that, Friday is the last expiration for the year. So a lot of marking can come right from that. And for example, in Apple, in Amazon, in the bigger stocks, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Netflix, Tesla, they could get it marked simply by the options expiration that'll happen on Friday and where things will have to get pushed and then expire right there. In any case, this is not out of the picture. None of these are. This being the most common, and then this. These in between, they do count, and they will provide some resistance and could provide the turning completion point. We'll wait and we'll see how it goes on. If this count is correct, 1, 2, and this is a third, then we're not really looking for all that much more in terms of what we could get out of this. See, if we have 1, 2, and a 3, you're looking for 4 and then a 5. I would not suspect that the 5 is going to extend as much as the third did, but it should form its own 5 waves up. Just as we saw here, this was a 3. So I would not expect the extension, but I definitely would expect 5 waves up in that 5th wave. So higher levels, yes. New all-time highs, yes. How high? To be determined. I would think for the balance of the session, unless we really kick things into that 4th wave correction I was talking about, then we could drop all the way back. We could start dropping down to 16,400, 16,200, to put that low in for the 4th wave and then zip up again. So both sides are going to be very playable. And if we start to, here's your clue, we start to break below the 4, we break below cleanly below the 8. And this is the 30 minutes. So if we take it out one more, let's look on the hourly. So we can clearly see on the hourly basis, breaks the 4, breaks the 8 at 16,500. Then the 20 sits at 16,444. The hourly 20 is still, I would think, could hold it and turn the market higher, or it blasts through that. And then we're looking at this next level, which is 16,293, because guess where that's sitting? The hourly 50 is sitting right at the bottom of the previous 4th wave, which it often does. So this is not out of the picture for tomorrow. So all kinds of things are happening. End of the year, lots of position adjustments. So be ready and be open for everything. Don't get married to an upside. Don't get married to a downside, because both, I believe, will happen at some point between tomorrow and Friday, several times between now and tomorrow and Friday. But on a larger scale, tomorrow we do have the possibility where we could drop a little bit deeper. That's where I'm going to end up for today. Trade smart, trade using the moving averages, use the Fibonacci, build your Fibonacci in between. Just realize if you're looking for a 4th wave, you're going to look for retracements. The 2nd wave, you're looking for retracements. It's just correcting that previous wave. If you're looking for the larger moves, then you're going to be connecting Fibonacci according to what you're comparing the waves to. So retracements, those are just exactly right. You're just looking for a retracement and then the advance to continue. These other levels are for that advance. So when you're doing extensions right now run to the upside, not necessarily to the downside. Retracements cover the downside until this whole scenario is complete. Next update, Tuesday, the 28th.